Hey, this is Joe Hage and Brooklyn. Hello, Brooklyn.
Hello, Brooklyn.
And also Chris Sharp. And Chris Sharp is the founder of SharpNet. And go ahead and tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. Yeah, SharpNet was founded over 15 years ago, actually a couple of months before Google was founded, as a search engine optimization company. And I started it when I was, 26, 27 years old, and now I'm 43, and spent all that time basically doing SEO. So it had pretty good privilege to see the internet explode and expand through that time, getting through the dot-com boom and everything the internet has to offer. So there's a few people that have been on the internet longer than I've been. Not a whole lot, but it's been pretty fun. I think maybe when I'm older and I reflect back at actually having gone through that A to Z process of the internet, it might be kind of fun. Right now, it's just a fun job.
I'm going to get the book. And maybe we can even write a chapter today.
Maybe we can, right?
Okay. So before we start, I asked you to do a critical evaluation of my site for SEO, and I'm sharing it with my audience. So, I probably couldn't find any client who would be willing to show the back inner workings of their site and their strategy, but I'm happy to do that for my clients. So,
very good.
That having been said, and I know I'm talking to the guy who knows, but here's my ingoing assumption. My ingoing assumption is that there are things we can do that are good and things we can do that are bad, but ultimately Google makes its money by building trust among all web users that whenever they type in something, they're going to get the best possible result. Mm-hmm. And that as smart as you and I are, all of their employees together working on this 24/7 are going to outsmart all of our tricks eventually. Eventually they'll be like a human brain deciding whether or not this is content worth serving. Would you agree with that assessment?
A little bit off in your last statement there. I don't think it's about outsmarting Google. I think it's more about...
No, that we're not going to be able to outsmart them.
Exactly right, and there should not be the concept of tricks, and it's the people that are doing the tricks or trying to incorporate tricks that are getting in trouble. Especially over the past 3 years or so, Google has been hyper aggressive in really trying to have legitimate websites and good quality websites. So you can definitely do things to outrank competitors or other people that aren't aggressive, but I wouldn't call it tricks. I would call it more, just abiding by the webmaster guidelines that Google applies. You can think of it as a trick, but it's just more knowledge of really what Google's looking for. Right. Some of that we'll be able to cover today.
Okay. So I'll tell you, and ultimately I guess my competition, that I make my living helping medical device companies with their marketing. So the terms that are most relevant to me is when someone is looking for medical device marketing, mm-hmm. or variations thereof, marketing medical devices, etc. Right. And also I lead the medical devices group on LinkedIn, and while I don't actively try to target that, I do host an annual conference for them. So the term medical device conference, conferences, medical devices conference, medical device conference Minneapolis, which is where I typically hold it, and perhaps the year, these are relevant terms for me. Okay. Not all of which I spend a lot of time here on this primary site, Medical Marcom, which is what I started before the medical devices group, and there's our background. Let's get to work.
Okay, very good.
So I'll go back into the dark underbelly here, and you tell me where you'd like us to look. I'll go to pages here.
Mm-hmm. And keep that back end loaded up there, but let's just visit the visual aspect of the website, just your home page,
okay,
without being logged into WordPress, and go from there.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to look over here, because that's where my screen is. You're
where
over
your screen
here.
is.
Over here. Okay.
Split
Where'd you
screen
like
as I
me to
can
go?
be in. All right. So let me I'm going to actually pull it up here. So your website, first of all, looks fantastic, and that's really a major thing. People need to visit your website, and it can look sticky. Build confidence, and Google will look at that. Google will understand if people visit your website and they leave it real quick and they start searching for other businesses and other results.
You mean bounce rate?
Your bounce rate, exactly it. Now, a bounce rate can be misunderstood, like say if you're a pizza restaurant and people just want that delivery phone number. They're only going to go to your homepage, get that number, and they're off. So there's a lot of situations where you have to take it with a grain of salt. What it's really important is bounce rates of your competitors, and if everybody's pizza website has a bad bounce rate, or what we consider
it's all
a bad
relative.
bounce rate, it's all relative, exactly. So
relative to other, I guess, I hate to call
competitors.
myself an agency, but if that's kind of the category,
Exactly.
other medical device marketing agencies have higher bounce rates or lower bounce rates relative to mine.
Exactly, right. Yep.
And you use the
But it
term
doesn't
sticky.
necessarily-
So for my guests, sticky means
Staying on your website.
okay.
It's sticky. They're there and they're not leaving very easily. They're getting engaged and just not bouncing off real quickly.
Okay, let's continue.
All right. So the homepage in general is in pretty good shape. There's a couple of things I noticed, and for example, I saw like a broken link, and I'm going to see if that's still broken.
Uh-oh, Joey doesn't like that.
Yeah, let me see here, because I looked at it real quick the other day to just familiarize myself
Now,
with it.
shy of clicking on every single link, is there a way for the average person to check on broken links?
Absolutely. So the way that I would go about it is through Google Webmaster Tools. And Google Webmaster Tools will identify 404 errors and other website-related errors. And,
Okay, so
you'll
I'm
probably
going to
find
go
one here.
to my analytics.
Mhm.
And here is Medical Marcom. Now, do I have to add something here for Webmaster Tools?
Well, you can link it. You're probably not linked, so it would be a completely different resource that Google offers called Google Webmaster Tools.
Okay.
And you
Also
actually
free,
have to
presumably?
absolutely free and very, very important for SEO. We'll be able to talk about it a little bit more. What Google Webmaster Tools does is it plugs you more into Google's mind as a search engine. So you get to see your clicks through analytics, but Webmaster Tools will show your search impressions, like how many times your website comes up in search results, but doesn't necessarily mean that someone clicked it. But it has a lot of diagnostic information. For example, the links that are coming into your website. You can find your inbound links. You can find how often Google crawls your website. You can submit sitemaps to Google so it knows all the pages and various information like that. And if there's problems, crawl errors, 404 errors, other things, even if you have other issues like title tags, maybe 5 of your pages on your website have the exact same title tag or description tag, Webmaster Tools will highlight all that for you. It's Google's
What's a crawl
resource.
error? 404 is when you direct someone to a page that doesn't exist. A crawl
Yes.
error is what?
Basically, Google can't find that page. The page no longer exists. But there could be several different ones. There could be internal server errors that are called a 500 error, for example. And there's several different classes of 400 errors. All of those are page-related stuff that one could be page can't be found, but there could be other versions of that page that are just meant as a diagnostic tool to the webmaster that's there. But that information will be in Google Webmaster Tools, and it basically talks to the webmaster how they can make their website better in many different ways, not only from a search perspective, but a user perspective as well. Through the optimization process, this is actually more where we live rather than analytics. Analytics, of course, is very important, but Webmaster Tools will have some of that same data, but at the same time, the diagnostic information that you can't find through Google Analytics. And it's easy to set up. Sometimes just having your Google Analytics code on your website, if it's in the top header portion of your website, that code can be used to authorize Webmaster Tools. And it's just as easy as you can type your domain name in there. It'll create that account for you,
Okay.
and be very diagnostic. So,
By the way, let me
definitely.
ask you, do you have any sense of, is SEO platform agnostic? So I have a WordPress site. In fact, just about every site I've built for clients has been on WordPress. It's perfectly functional, and I wonder if you have any perspective on that.
Not too much. Generally, from my perspective, when we inherit a website to optimize it, we try and use the tools that the client already has. If they don't have a tool like a SEO plugin,
Mm-hmm.
we'll install that for them. One of our favorites is the Yoast SEO plugin. We work quite a bit with the all-in-one SEO plugin, but there's all kinds that we see. Installing, like, say, Google Analytics, you can do that through all-in-one SEO plugin, or put that directly into a template file or various things like that. But so it really just depends on what's the best fit for the website when we tackle it.
So let's see. Which one do I use? I used to do all-in-one.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe even, no. Well, let me go to a page.
It might be in your settings as well.
It might be. Let's go to, I don't know what page to go to. Here, website rebuild. Let me go down here. Theme SEO settings.
Okay, right.
So that has to do with the fact that I'm on a Genesis platform, right?
Yeah, it looks like it, and it's just the functionality that comes with the theme, and that's all good. Anything that can give you some ability to have a custom title tag, description tag, and various things like that. That's really all you need.
Okay, there's the description, just for everyone's
Yep.
benefit. Okay, where would you like to go next?
Okay, let's go back to your home page. So from your home page, one thing that I noticed was your title tag, and I got your page up here on my screen too, so I can mouse over things. Your title tag has medical devices marketing, medical marcom. The way the title tag needs to be formed is you really need your primary keyword at the beginning, what you're doing. So A+ for that. I also very much believe in the branding aspect and having your own company name at the end of the tag. Most companies will actually put their business name at the beginning. The reason why you want the keyword in the beginning is, number one, it will help you rank better. Google sees more relevance in the first words rather than the last words in your title tag. So always begin with your primary keyword. Now what you have going on is your title tag is very short, which is okay, but it gives you an opportunity to elaborate a little bit more than you are right now, getting more keywords that you could target. Of course, everything has to be done in a very tactful manner. It needs to satisfy humans as well as Google. But for example, we could have medical consulting or medical sales leads or lead generation or some other kind of keyword in there. And as we go through the content of your website, if you could reinforce that keyword, say medical lead generation, and I'm just picking up some, keyword ideas at random, but somewhere in your content you want to make sure you reverberate what is in your title.
Let me ask a question. So this is a simple example. So I have medical devices marketing, medical marcom. Am I wasting characters by using the word medical twice?
Yes and no. Your case,
I mean, in my case, it's my name.
Yes, exactly.
But
right.
let's say I wanted to tell you that I do I do medical device marketing, communication, and strategy, lead generation, and website development. I don't have to say medical devices marketing, medical devices lead generation. That'd be a waste of characters.
Perfectly said. Basically, when Google sees a word in a title, it gets it, and you don't need to repeat it, and that is a huge area that we see regularly of wasted space. Your one scenario here where medical is in your name, completely acceptable, and what you want to do. So for example, medical device marketing and lead generation, or medical conferences or consulting, various phrases like that, that you could integrate there in a tactful way. It would give you a little bit of an edge that you don't have, a little bit more of an edge than you have right now.
And how many is the optimal number of characters?
You want to stay under 70.
Mm-hmm.
Google will begin to truncate your title in the range of about 67 to 69. Why it's 67 one time and 69 another, I'm not sure, except for maybe just how fat the letters are. You know, if you have a whole bunch of letter I's, maybe you can get more in there. I don't know. But that's the range it starts to truncate. The other good reason why of having your company name at the end is if truncation does happen, it's just truncating your name, and you still have all the value of the keywords in your title. But that said, you want to make sure and also have your company name in your description tag in case there is truncation.
Right.
Your description tag will still reinforce that brand.
Right. So when we start to get down to how many characters here, I chose to spend an extra 2 characters on a divider and a space. Would you say, yeah, it's important to look nice because that's going to show up on Google? You don't want to just have the string of nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say that if I were to put in, I'm not sure I will, but let's say for now I were to put in lead generation. Now I'm up to 58. Is that the way you would do it?
Yes and no. I would probably use, the space is very important, and we've learned ways to really, literally saving 1 or 2 characters here or there can make a big difference in that truncation issue that we mentioned. If you use a comma instead of a pipe, you save 1 carriage space. So you can say, yeah, exactly, drop a comma there and lose the pipe. And then if you really need to get desperate, use a colon, and then you only have 1 space instead of that pipe. So lead generation colon, and then you could have medical mark on.
So in this case where I'm putting in 2 concepts, would I put in medical devices? Are you saying then like that?
Nope, comma there, like you had, but then put the colon after lead generation.
Oh, I see, to save this pipe.
Yeah, exactly. So it's that second pipe, right? Now you've just saved 1 more character.
Okay. So
yeah, just ideas.
So website development is the next concept for me. I clearly can't fit that all.
Sure.
So what would you say I would put in there? Just ignore it good enough's alone, and
let your web development page take care of that. So go after just the really kind of the very general and mission critical keywords on that home page. Make sure the content reinforces those keywords, and then let your web development page take care of that. And we'll get to that. We can drive through the website, and I'll show some examples of how best to highlight.
I would call you and say, okay, Chris, given that I do marketing, lead generation, and website development, should I use up my homepage on highlighting website development or lead generation? And that's when you would do some magic to tell me which term was more often searched and how competitive that term was.
That's true, but the highest demand keyword isn't always the best one for you. It depends on how you want to market yourself, what your closing ratios are, the competitiveness of the keyword. Lead generation, to me, blends in better with medical devices. I would probably stick with that and let another page that can be more dedicated to web design on its own. Okay. So it's a very subjective call, but I do understand that web design is extremely competitive, and you'd really have to change the manner.
Yeah, I'm not about that anyhow. So yeah, my approach to web development is, if we do a good job generating leads, they're gonna want to come to a website. So let's not have it look like crap.
Right.
Not to
yeah,
put
absolutely.
a point on it. So I ignore keywords because I think that's the equivalent of keyword stuffing, and Google gets that. So this is kind of outdated. Am I right?
That's absolutely correct. Google has never looked at the keyword meta tag. Most search engines don't. There's only one that I know of that even does in the United States, and it's just a little search engine.
Now
so yeah, completely
these
ignore
URLs
don't
here.
waste your time.
What about these?
Canonical is pretty important, and the reason why is there could be a www dot version and then just the non-www version. Sometimes people in their domain names will have what's called a wildcard domain name, so you could go to like frog dot medicalmarcom.com and bob.medicalmarcom.com, and all of those will render the same website. What the canonical does is it just makes sure that your primary website path is the one that gets full credit. The other ones are kind of ignored. We see this as a development problem very frequently, where there will be a development link. It'll be like development.bobswebdesign.com.
Okay, so that's
like
when you put
designer.
something ahead of the website, so it's blog dot or dev dot,
right.
or and what's the
And that'll stay live.
what's the point of having? So instead of having blog.medicalmarcom.com, I have medicalmarcom.com/blog. Can you help us understand the delta there?
There isn't very much change at all. Matt Cutts, as we mentioned before, kind of sort of like an SEO spokesman for Google, recently had a pretty good video about this topic, and he essentially says is there's very little difference. The way that you want to check or to enforce that is whatever is just easiest for you to manage on your own, depending on who you are and what you're comfortable doing. Now, when you have the subdomain, that will act as if it's a completely new domain. So like if, I don't know, we had blog.medicalmarcom.com, that would be just as much of a new domain to Google as medicalmarcomblog.com is.
If I didn't have canonical in there.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So essentially what the canonical does is if there's different versions of your website through those subdomains and those wwws, or even if you have like a domain forwarding to yours so that people can access your website for multiple different domain names, what it does is it tells Google, ignore all that other stuff. This is the one that I want you to really pay attention to.
So this is not relevant for this site for me?
No, definitely not. Because Google, the only issue that there could be is sometimes Google will see the www versus the non-www, but Google has that sorted out. It used to be a problem. It isn't really anymore. So yeah, there's nothing that you need to fix unless you have a development link out there that you don't know. A lot of people, like a web designer, designs their website and in a subdomain so that it can be viewed as they design it, and sometimes that will stay live, and you might have this ghost website out there that you're not even aware of.
Okay.
So,
last thing I'll ask you here on this homepage, and I'm sorry I cut you off. I'm trying to be mindful of our time.
No, you're fine.
My title for this page is simply Medical Marcom. Am I wasting the opportunity?
Ideally, in a perfect world, yeah, you're going to want to change that. Well, on this one, it doesn't matter because it's not a page name. Medical Marcom doesn't show up.
Right, it doesn't show up.
Your website now.
I override that with under menus and such.
Exactly. But if it did show up, it could be like a H1 tag, for example.
Right.
And having keywords in that would be very important. And also your URL to your page. If it has a keyword in that URL, which you can see your permalink right there near the top of your site. If you can have a keyword in that permalink, so say this was your web design page, and it's medicalmarcom.com/ and medical web design, that would be very beneficial.
Right.
And the way WordPress works is it'll take that page name when you first create it for your URL.
Right.
So here it doesn't matter, but other pages it would definitely matter.
Now what's interesting to me for a moment is on any other page, I can edit the page name, typically here, but not on this one?
Yeah, because it's your home page. It's your default. It's you could go /index.php and get the same page, but basically, no matter what, it's going to be that same. Just your domain name is what resolves that page. So.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and check for any broken links later.
I found one. Or I found it. It's
which
the one
is
that
it?
says. I asked for SEO, third from the bottom.
And this is what they said. Not acceptable. Now, I didn't even get the kind of 404 that I like.
Yeah, it was kind of strange, but something worth looking into.
Yeah. Well, you know what? just because I'm that kind of guy, I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to go into, I know it's not the best use of our time. Forgive me, everyone. I'm going into widgets and footnote, primary sidebar, popular posts. I asked for SEO. So I don't know what's wrong here. This is the, here's the URL / I just have UTM source popular, UTM campaign popular, UTM keyword popular, close quotes. It looks fine to me.
Yeah, it looks fine to me too. We just have to, I would copy out that URL and just see if it works, like if you directly use it.
Something's funky.
It's good there. Yeah, it is.
So maybe it's, that's primary. So I have, maybe I'll have to check with my guy if I have a different setup for the home page. I don't know. I'm not seeing it here. To return to later. Okay. Now Joey's taking notes. Home page. Okay.
All right, so let's jump to where I did find an issue with your website.
Uh-oh.
So, and this is a real good strategy pretty much everybody should adopt. And let's put it this way, functionally, everything's fine, but it's a strategic thing. So jump over to your services page.
Okay.
So on your services page, what you're doing is you have one page that's trying to discuss all of the services you offer. However, it's going to be very difficult to have this one page rank well for all of those keywords. Every other paragraph, Google finds some major topic, and it becomes a little bit schizophrenic. Is it about Marcom services, marketing communication, social media, web design? What is this really about? I can't give you ranking for all of these things. And so what you really ought to do is turn this page into a brief summary of all of your services.
All of which link out to other pages.
Exactly. Have
I've been too lazy.
Yep, exactly.
So this is what I did here. I'm sorry,
all the difference in your ranking.
How might we serve you? Hover over the question marks for a short description of each. So here I have a read more. So for discovery, I did make a page.
Okay, there you go. All right.
Now, the fact is, I got lazy. This is not a very impressive page. Nobody visits it, but it's there. Actually, one of these, marketing strategy, I think, does get, I know this page needs to be redesigned.
Well, it's not that bad.
So this page actually does get some traffic. And that's because of this URL, I suspect. So I'm going to go to Edit Page and show you medical device marketing. Now I went and used marketing again, so this is pointless. So I should have said perhaps strategy and communication. That'd be better. Oops. You agree?
Yes and no. What I would look at too is diversifying the keywords that you're targeting in your title tag. For example, every single page has medical device marketing. You already ranked #1 for that.
But I think,
congratulations.
Thank you. But I think I thought that one of the reasons I do rank #1 for that is because of my emphasis consistently throughout the site about medical device marketing. Really, I mean, yes, there's a long tail and all that stuff, but what pays the bills around here? Medical device marketing, medical device conferences. Everything else is nice.
Sure, but you never know where that next client's going to come from either. And they might be looking at it in a different way in a different keyword. So it's really about your audience and what they're looking for. My suggestion would be to perhaps mix up a couple of your pages. For example, you have those different service pages. You have a medical lead generation page. Begin with medical lead generation on that, maybe medical web design, web design services and medical social media, those types of phrases. You want to keep to have that medical device marketing in a lot of areas too, but you don't have to go all in. You can really spread it out, and you have the opportunity of really broadening the audience that you're reaching and getting those opportunities, because some people just will search different, and you're missing those people right now, and it could be a very big world. So try it. I would recommend you have plenty of content and plenty of pages, and I bet you're going to start getting a lot more ranking on some of these other pages by simply having that homepage title tag that really reinforces it. And then, like mentioned earlier, always go through with the content and do that as well. But you could easily, in a few months from now, have 30, 40, 50, even double the traffic you have right now by just expanding that keyword strategy without losing some of the top medical communications and medical device marketing rankings that you have already. So it just will make your universe bigger on the internet.
Folks watching this video might say, great, but what terms do I want to win? So would they contact you at SharpNet to help them determine for their strategy which are the best keywords to target?
Well, for a client, we would definitely engage in that. We don't have a service where we just do keyword lookup or
clearly.
The research aspect of things. But that's definitely a discovery process that we do at the beginning of every campaign. So we'll go on a page-by-page basis and really understand what the client is serving, what audience you're trying to reach, and then also interviewing the client to really understand what's critical for them. So we need to understand, what pays their bills, what are they, how do they want clients to find them, prioritize those keywords, and then other opportunities. You could say like medical lead generation would be one of those secondary priorities that we would implement for you, for example, with medical device marketing being the primary one. So it's just a matter of just kind of cascading across each of the different web pages, optimizing for the keywords that make sense for that page, but doing it in a way we call it the money keywords. The money keywords are the keywords that are going to make your phone ring. It's not going to appeal to a do-it-yourselfer, but it's going to appeal to someone that's looking for help. So, for example, as a search engine optimization company, I wouldn't want to say optimize my website for SEO tips or SEO information or things like that. Those are people that want to do it themselves. However, SEO firm, SEO agency, SEO marketing services, those types of phrases, that makes people pick up the phone and want to call me. So when you're looking at keyword research, you have to understand there's a psychology behind it. What is the intent of that person? What are they most likely going to be looking for? You want to go for the money keywords, the people that are going to pick up the phone and call you.
So as an SEO firm competing against other SEO firms, how have you done on the terms for SEO agency and the like?
SEO marketing services is our primary one. We actually nationally ranked on the first page of Google for SEO marketing services. It's a very good go-to keyword for us, and yeah, there's probably 10,000 other SEO firms that would love that keyword, but we got it. There's a few others that share it with us.
You're the man.
Thank you.
All right.
But I've been at it for 15 years, so
Fair enough. Yeah, I get a kick out of the spam emails that I get that say, website development, we are SEO firm, broken English and the like, and I'm like, yeah, I never
understood why an SEO company really has to turn to email marketing to sell their services. So
I actually wrote a post on that once, and I said, can I just delete this? And I said, pretty much. That was the conclusion of the post.
Yeah, we live on our own marketing services. If it doesn't work, we would have been out of business a long time ago.
And what I tell my readers is, just as we're doing here, I experiment with myself first, and if it works, then I can use it with them. Where shall we go next? Oh, actually, I will tell you what everyone. Why I asked Chris to do this with me is you taught me something really important about my blog homepage. So let's do that. I think we made that change. And do you recall what you taught me?
Absolutely.
Okay, tell us about that.
Okay, so Google no longer likes duplicate content. I put it this way, Google's never liked duplicate content. However, with the Panda update, they actively are hunting it down and not crediting content that has duplicate. So something that's very common to WordPress websites is to have, like you have here, a blog page that has one blog post after another, after another, after another, in a chronological order.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is all the content on this comes from the actual blog. Like each
So
one
here
of these
is
blog pages.
Now I
Yep.
click on twice the impact for more. Here's more.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And here's that whole post. And
Right.
I've gone
So you
ahead and
have
used all these words already on the other page. And now I'm
Right,
using
exactly.
it here, which is two different pages. So I'm getting penalized, kind of.
I wouldn't say penalized at this level, but I would say ignored. So you don't know which page is being ignored, though. Is it your blog page that's very general, or is it your individual article pages? The answer is it's whichever one Google finds first
Mm-hmm.
when they crawl your website and they decide is the original source of that content. But the problem is the way that you have a separate blog page, you're kind of protected because you know, it's just your blog page, and if this one particular page doesn't get a lot of ranking, you're okay because you have the individual blog pages that can get that ranking instead.
I'd like to
What
show
happens?
the audience, I'm going to edit this page, a blog, and you'll see that I have absolutely no content whatsoever here.
Right.
This is some magic that my web development guy made, and it all kind of feeds in. And so you can see all I have here is medical device marketing blog from Medical Marcom. You might tell me that's not using it properly. And then you told me about this down here. So talk to me about robots meta settings.
Right. So what the no index will do in that meta setting is basically tells Google, I don't want you to crawl this page, you know. So when Google will find that page, it'll see it, but it's not going to crawl it, which means that Google will not count all of that duplicate content that could be applied against all the individual blog pages. So now what you've done is you've protected yourself from duplicate content issues.
You protected me. I had this on click before you told me.
Yeah, but you had to agree to do it.
Okay.
So, but one point that's very important is it's very, very common, not on your website, but other websites where they will have that blog roll on their home page. Their home page is really nothing more than a collection of content snippets from all of their other blog pages. What that means is their home page is nothing but duplicate content, and really will have a difficult time gathering some significant rankings. So if you're doing this, my
Significant
recommendation
rankings on the what? The blog posts that are being referenced, or on the home page?
The home page, correct.
So let me paraphrase what you just said.
Page.
The home page suffers when blog content is on the home page because it also shows up somewhere else?
Exactly, but that's when really all the content is just really the blog. Like if you have a good chunk of unique content on your home page, you're going to be okay. Google can see that. But all the duplicate content, it's just going to ignore like it wasn't even there.
It's in my case, and I'll show you. Let's see. I'll go to pages. Take a moment. I have 31 pages. I have 140 posts, so there's a great weight towards the blog. That's where I teach, and the pages are just kind of static and say this is the kind of thing that I do. Go check out examples. This kind of, I guess, imbalance is common, uncommon, good, bad. Have you a point of view on that?
Oh, no, I mean, what you have going on with a considerable amount of blog content, and there's no magic whether it's a page or whether it's a blog post. Google doesn't know or doesn't even care. It just sees content. However, it's introduced onto your website. So I'm indifferent to it, whether it's a blog post or a page. The bottom line is you know, is that content duplicate or not, and how do you handle that? So the way you have it here with that no index being selected on that general blog page, you protected yourself. But the fact that the content there is coming in from blog posts or widgets or other, you know, content blocks on Joomla or WordPress or other website doesn't really matter. Content's content. Doesn't matter.
So
What
I
kind of
once
content?
read, and I know this evolves so quickly, so it may be completely silly redundant at this point. I once read that the last words on a page are given some extra weight somehow. And like you said, it doesn't matter where it comes from, so that means your footer. I see websites that have this huge footer of lots of important words that click to other pages and are linked and all that stuff. This is not clickable, this is not clickable, but I have the words here. I have this clickable to the devices group that I lead, and shame on me that this doesn't open a new window. I'm going to get on somebody as soon as we get off the phone for that. That is not what I expected or wanted. Come on down. And then I have medical device conference. Let's see if we, okay, at least we have that one working properly. So have I done myself a real favor having medical device conference, a term that's really important to me, as the last three words on every page on this site? Or am I fooling myself?
It is important, but there's nothing real magical about the bottom of it. Actually, the first content is more important. What you want is to make sure you have good keywords at the very beginning of your content. And if you understand how HTML is laid out on a website, Google is basically looking left to right, top to bottom. And so wherever it's going to be resolving the first content, you want that to be, your keywords placed there. Finishing at the bottom with a keyword is very good, and at the very beginning is very good. So you got it in both places. What you want to do, and in the middle, you want a reference or two, of course, just through the normal readable content. Now, one thing's changed though. Google, like if you're familiar with the phrase "below the fold," that means you have to scroll down to get to the content. That content is a little bit de-emphasized in Google, and links in your footer are very much de-emphasized by Google as well, because they're almost like they're hidden, or they're not important enough to be on major parts of your website. And so for that reason, Google doesn't put quite the full credit on those footer links, but it still will. It'll still crawl, and it's a great place to put a few more links.
Okay. With remaining 10 minutes, is there maybe do you have other main things that you've observed, or should we go to some kind of speed round of take a look at this and take a look at that?
Yeah, let's take a look at a couple other things. There's a few that I noticed as you were kind of clicking around, like your title tag of your blog was just blog, putting something in there like medical news and information, or something like that as the page name for your blog might be a little bit more effective.
Now I'm thinking, before I go ahead and start changing all these tags, I want to be smart about what word should I put there. Is that something that I can contract you to do for us?
Well, certainly. But almost anything would be better than just blog. So even if you guess bad, you're still going to be doing yourself a favor.
There's some kind of tapping that started about a minute ago. What is that? Do you hear it?
Oh, it's probably my headset.
Oh, okay.
I'll keep my head still.
So this up. Oh, I see. You mean this permalink?
Right, but I think if just go back to your blog page live. And you can see your title tag there just says blog.
Oh, up here.
Right.
Now, I'm not sure why that is, because I thought that it would say medical device marketing blog from Medical Marcom. That's my custom document title.
Yeah, I see that. That's interesting.
Maybe it's because of the way that this page is an amalgam of everything else.
It might very well be.
So if I go to any page other than this one, sorry, keep doing that. If I click on this article, you'll see that blog doesn't appear at all. In fact, medical device marketing appears. And that's my subdirectory for the articles.
Right.
In fact, you can see that up here then. And this says medical device marketing repurposing social media on your site, which is the name of the article.
Right. Yeah, that part looks right. We just got to see what's going on with that blog one. I don't know why it's not incorporating the title, but there could be something in your template itself that hard codes that that blog page.
Okay.
But we'd have to get under the hood.
Okay. What's next?
Okay, let's see here. Well, the main concepts I think you got in terms
Any
of...
comment about the About page?
My main issue was, like I mentioned, this would be a really good opportunity to integrate another keyword, to target another keyword.
So here I have medical device marketing and strategy.
Right. So marketing communications, medical marketing communications would be a good word to target, for example. And I got your page over here so I can mouse over things and go to your About page.
So should I lose the term medical device in this page?
Yeah, I would essentially just kind of target another keyword. You know, as just mentioned, diversify.
The
so
thing for
I'm
me
looking
is,
at here.
and let me ask you, this is a real important for me, and I expect an equivalent for our listeners. If they don't type in medical device, I probably don't want them because of the self-selection that goes in. So here's my anecdote. Way ago, this is 3 years ago when I started. A few months in, a visitor came to the site and he started chatting with me. And I said, how did you find me? Because I wasn't number 1 for medical device marketing. I was number 8. And he said, well, first I typed in medical marketing. And that was a mess. It was get patients to my practice. It was all sort of buy drugs, all sorts of stuff that was irrelevant to me. So I self-selected and realized I might get a better result if I type in medical device marketing. And I said, okay, I'm number 8. How did you come to me instead of the first 7? And he said, I clicked on the first 7, and they did not resonate with me, but you had a familiar voice and seemed approachable, and I thought I could talk with you, and you'd be responsive, etc. Great. So from that day, pretty much, I recognized that medical device was going to be the filter through which anyone who should use my services should self-select. And therefore, I said I better put medical device in these things because I don't want to win the term marketing, communication, and strategy. I could do it. I used to sell pudding and flowers and soup, but I don't anymore, and I don't wish for that business.
Sure.
So taking out medical device here and putting in a whole bunch of other terms, what am I accomplishing? What am I doing?
Your answer was in that explanation. He first looked for medical marketing, not medical device marketing. And how many thousands of other people are doing that thing? If he found a competitor's website that does the same thing as you in that first search, he would have never made that phone call to you. So the point is you already ranked number 1 for medical device marketing. So let's get in the heads of other people that might be searching in a different way. Now, you're absolutely correct that everybody that is the perfect client searching for medical device marketing, and it is true that you might get a phone call here or there. There are other keywords that just really aren't a great fit, but there will be some people that are a great fit. Other keywords, medical device sales, people that are looking for sales help and things like that, receive 10 times the search demand as medical device marketing. Medical device sales, 10 times the medical device marketing, for example. So there's a lot of just keyword opportunity.
I've never targeted sales.
Sure, sure. And it's just giving you ideas of other things you can do. You're still going to attract all the people that are looking for your medical device marketing because you're ranked number 1. All I'm suggesting is broaden that up and try and get people that are looking for medical lead generation, medical device, sales. I actually got some other things here. Medical marketing company. A lot of people that do specifically, they're trying to advertise a device. They might not think device in that search, and broadening that, might get more eyeballs on your website without losing what you already have. Just making it better, not substituting one for the other.
So to understand if I have a title tag that doesn't have the word medical showing at all, good or bad?
Bad. That would be too general. Yeah, you're going to get people communicating with all kinds of different things. So
Okay.
definitely want medical. That is your thing. You can even explore like, well, now healthcare wouldn't work real well for you. I would stick with medical, but then mix up that other second and third phrase.
So the
Lead
word
generation,
device you don't
device
think
sales.
device is not a mandatory on my pages.
No, I don't think so. I think you could go for just medical marketing phrases,
Would
medical
you,
lead generation, medical marketing.
so I have, as you saw, 4 major pages, well, 5 if you include the home page. Should I risk losing the word device on these 4? I mean, can I try up your strategy on blog posts and not
Sure.
on these major ones, or
Where I would do it is on those pages you had in your services pages,
yeah?
and you have those individual pages for those services.
Uh-huh.
Go all out for, like you have a lead generation page, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Do medical lead
I hope I
generation
do.
on that particular page.
No, I
It
never
was in
got
your
that
little
far.
checkbox.
Yeah, I
Okay,
never got
well,
that far. I got
that's
up
your
to
next
5, and
project.
then it's one of those, what is it, the cobbler's shoes? The cobbler's kids have
Yeah.
no shoes.
Exactly, but here you go. You already got your keywords. This is beautiful. You got marketing strategy, marketing communications. Just put the word medical in front and use that as your title tag. So medical marketing communications, medical marketing strategy, medical lead generation, medical web development. You got it right there, and dedicate those pages to that phrase, the title, the description, and through the content of your website. And all of a sudden, you're just going to get a whole lot more eyeballs going to your website, because I know your website has enough clout and enough page rank that it's going to be fairly easy for you to start capturing some really good keywords.
I stopped checking what my page rank was. Can you tell me what it is?
Sure.
Where do I look? Do I Google what's my page range? Page
Nope.
rank?
Page rank. Yeah, basically there's tools that can do it. We have one internal, so that's where I look. But there's an Alexa plugin that will also do it, which is what I'm looking at right now, and it's PageRank 3, which is decent.
But 10, super great.
There's only 2 websites in the world that are PageRank 10, and Google is not one of them.
What are they?
Facebook and Twitter. Google lost the battle about 2 years ago.
Look at that. So,
Yep.
what is increasing your page rank something I really need to work on, do you think? Or that's like, oh, that's nice, it's a 3, if it's a 4, it's a 2, it's a 5. Is it that big a deal?
Yeah, it certainly is. What PageRank does is it is a representation of the volume and quality of your inbound links. And that can influence as much as, you can't really put a number, but I'd say 60 to 70% of your ranking potential can come from the weight of those inbound links. That's all summed up in PageRank. PageRank is a logarithmic scale going from 0 to 10, which means a PageRank 4 has 10 times more PageRank than PageRank 3.
Can you tell me how close I am to a 4?
Can't tell you that.
Come on, man.
Oh, no, I don't know.
All right. No, I know you.
There.
I know you.
Yeah.
Tell me if you could.
Yeah. I would tell you if I could, right.
So, I mean,
I'll
I could be,
up, though.
I could be really far away from it. I could be like a 3.1 or a 2.9 that rounds up to a 3.
Exactly, but Google knows, and so the work that you do to become from a 3 to 4, it's not like Google ignores it. If you are, say, a 3.7, that's going to be better than a 3.1.
Right. So with 5 minutes remaining, one thing we didn't talk about at all is what you just mentioned. Everything we've done here, we've looked at my site. Fine. What about all of the off-site search engine optimization stuff to be done? You want to talk to us quickly about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe I'll have to have you back for another one of these.
Maybe so, exactly. So the bottom line, the main offsite thing, I'd classify it in 2 ways. Actually, I'd classify it as one way, but with subsets. It's all about your inbound link. It's your It's your online reputation or authority, and the way that's defined by is the volume and the quality of your inbound links. A single link from, say, a PageRank 8 website will have far more value than, say, 1,000 links from PageRank 1. So the quality is very, very important.
I have a link in from Forbes. How big a deal is that?
From Forbes?
Uh-huh.
Well, if it was on their homepage, it would be a really, really big deal.
It's not.
You're probably big aware, so it's still a big deal, but way, way, way down from like a homepage link.
Yeah.
Definitely, you wouldn't have a homepage link from Forbes. Yeah, so if it's buried, it's still going to be good, but it's not going to give you that same weight as you would from, for example, like a homepage.
Right.
So essentially, though, Google looks at every single link that comes into your website as a vote of confidence. And the more votes of confidence that you have, Google sees that as, your website is more an authority. So that's what you want, is a bunch of votes of confidence. Your website is so enthralling to people that they actually will take the time and link to your website as a resource.
Mm-hmm.
And that vote of confidence from a big website, of course, is much more important. So now there's social media too. So Google looks at what they call social media signals, but there's no magic in it. It's just a link like anything else. And those links can have very low page rank and not a lot of weight to them, but at the same time they're very easy to do. You can get them on your Facebook pages and LinkedIn pages, and every time you do a tweet you can have a link coming back to your website. Social media is a great way to link build, but
that has a lot of value. If I get 100 retweets on something that has a link to my thing, that's a big ass deal.
It would take a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So it's thousands, yes. Hundreds, no.
Would it be thousands for a particular page or thousands in general to my site anywhere?
Both are good because PageRank also passes from link to link. So your website's internally linked. So if you have links coming all over your website, they're all linked together, so it just kind of flows from one to the next to the next. So spread out or all on one, doesn't matter. It's going to eventually get to the rest of your website.
Should people spend a lot of time trying to get inbound links all over the... I mean, I get solicited can I pay you to put a link on my site?
Right. Most of that is very mischievous, and the link that you get back from them won't be on the website that you link to. So they're getting all these links from other people to go to the website they're trying to optimize, but the link they give you back is going to be from some obscure website that is nothing but links, and there might be 300 or 400 other things. So 300 websites pointing to one versus one that points to 300 back. Not very good. Not something you want to do.
Right. Okay.
So it's difficult. Yeah, the link building issue is a very difficult one. A good place to start would be with business directories, Manta.com, Merchant Circle, Hot Frog, Yellowbot, Super Pages, all those sorts of things.
Sounds like something to hire you for. I don't want to do all that.
No, it's very time consuming. And there's some shortcuts. There's some portals where you can submit, and it'll get you on a lot of different business directories. But you got to be very careful that that is a very good quality, reputable network. Otherwise, you're going to get yourself in trouble. Google will see that as unnatural links, bad quality websites, and instead of Panda update like we talked about earlier, it's the Penguin update that will get you for bad links. Panda, bad content, duplicate content. Penguin, bad links, spam kind of SEO tactics.
I think we'll leave it here.
Very good.
Chris Sharp, that was great. I'm sure we're going to talk again, and in full disclosure to those watching, Chris is working with me on a client site, and I said, boy, we should get some of this available to my readers, but let's not do it for my client site because it's a client, so why don't we just switch over to mine, and that's what he agreed to do today. So my hat tip to you, and you're taking new clients. People can reach you at?
SharpNetSolutions.com is a great place to start. We have all the content there just to see if we're a good fit for your company. But yeah, we're absolutely taking on clients, and would love to hear from anybody that is interested.
Excellent. Chris Sharp, SharpNet, thank you very much.
I appreciate the time. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure. Bye for now.